Right, ladies and gents, The Running Man, the reboot, remake, readaptation, whatever you want to say. The first reviews are online, and like I love to do here on this channel for movies which I'm either looking forward to or I think you guys might be looking forward to, is I like to go through them just to take a look and see, and then subsequently we'll obviously watch that film and see whether we kind of match up with it, really. It's just interesting, I find. Anyway, so first reviews have dropped online. They're all incredibly positive. Which isn't a massive surprise for movies these days. You know, whether that's the studio giving talking points or not, who knows. We do know that Lionsgate effectively tried to, said if you watch our movies early, you must not give a negative first reaction to it. There was an embargo on any negativity, which is weird. We know that courtesy of The Ballerina, actually, which is really what a shocking thing to do. But anyway, whatever. Let's take a look, shall we? So, Rachel Leichman, we're just going to go through these tweets. Said, The Running Man was everything I wanted it to be, and so much more. Action-packed, emotional, and a star vehicle for Glen Powell. Edgar Wright really bottled magic with Stephen King's novel. And this is going to be an instant classic. It just effing rules, man. I tell you, like, I actually really like the look of it. It just looks like a rip roaring good time at the theatre. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I just want an entertaining movie. I'm sure there's so many people out there that are just crying out for good entertainment. First and foremost, you know, and that's what every movie should be. Like, I understand a bit of an auteur-driven film and all this kind of stuff. I understand that. But sometimes you can get so bogged down with movies that you just want something which is just fun. Now, I don't mean like Marvel fun. It's not what I'm talking about. Just fun. Right? Anyway. Joe Blow said, our man Jimmy to the O saw The Running Man. Running Man features Glen Powell. We'll have to click on this, sorry. Glen Powell in a performance that only continues to prove what the actor is capable of. Edgar Wright takes a slightly different approach, taking on an action film that is vastly different from Arnold's turn. It works, but runs a bit long with a few too many characters. Still a crowd pleaser, judging from the screening I attended. There you go. So, first bit of critique. Basically, pacing's a bit off. Here's one. The Running Man is a glorious, brilliantly old-school blockbuster. Fast-paced, action-packed, yet character-driven, with a chaotic energy reminiscent of Scott Pilgrim. That's an interesting comparison. Glen Powell burns up the screen, angry, masculine, funny, and with a proper film star charisma. Loved it. Now, Glen Powell does actually have charisma. Whether you like or dislike his acting, one of the things you have to admit is he has charisma. He has charisma in spades, that guy. So, good. This is good, right? There's nothing bad here. That's positive. Interesting that they say, like, old school blockbuster, you know? I actually said this in my video yesterday talking about The Mummy returning. And I was like, maybe we're seeing movie studios learn their lesson and we'll get, like, a return to the sort of golden age of movies where, you know, the old school blockbuster, basically, was what I sort of likened it to. That's what The Mummy was for me. It was in a near golden age of films. But anyway, I digress. Perry Nemiroff says, what a year for Stephen King adaptations. The Life of Chuck, The Long Walk blew up. So that was bad. That did dreadful at the box office. What? Welcome to Derry. Welcome to Derry is good. I like Welcome to Derry. And now The Running Man is also fantastic. We'll have to click on this one as well. I enjoyed the 87 film, but I was really eager to see a more faithful adaptation of the novel. Not only do Edgar Wright and co. deliver big on that front. So that's interesting, because a lot of people's criticism whilst they watched the trailer was that it didn't look anything like the original story. So Perry here is saying that it delivers at least a more faithful adaptation. So there you go. So he manages to do so while still making it feel like an Edgar Wright movie, which is what you want. I mean, you do There are certain directors that you go to watch because you want to see their stylistic directing come through, right? He's got a remarkably firm handle on the style and tone of the film, and that's what allows it to be both bombastic, high-energy fun, and also just grounded enough to ensure you care and take the story home with you after the credits roll. Nice. I mean, that's high praise, isn't it, really? The Running Man is absolutely fantastic. Edgar Wright and Glen Powell deliver a non-stop thrill ride with a killer supporting cast and soundtrack. Now, speaking of the supporting cast, I didn't know until literally last night that this dude here, the sort of mercenary guy with his face hidden, is Lee Pace. So yeah, star-studded cast. Anyway, I've been dying to see again. Glen Powell has officially cemented himself as Hollywood's next leading man. Yeah, I mean, I think Glen Powell is a leading man. I don't think that's... I don't think anyone's going to argue with that and be like, oh, this is just shilling. No, I think Glen Powell is a leading man. You know, whether... I think he's been able to sell movies, to be fair. Him and both Sydney Sweeney are sort of effectively stars now, right? Like, they're two individuals that can sell movies when they are at least leads. Anyway, here's looking at you, Madam Webb. The Running Man has exceeded my already extremely high expectations. You're all in for such a treat with this film. Edgar Wright has done it again. There you go. Just saw The Running Man. Wow. Twists, mayhem, laughs, and straight up carnage. Edgar Wright cooked. You know what? I'm literally not seeing any recurring theme here. Like, there's no word which has been dropped in, presumably by the studio, to make people, sign out on their reactions. There doesn't seem to be a connecting thread, which is a really good sign. Doesn't seem to be talking points, which is great. Maybe I stand corrected, who knows, but that's a good sign. I love Stephen King's book, but Edgar Wright's The Running Man floored me. He trimmed the weakest parts of the book and even took swings and improved upon it. I love that Glen Powell brings more humanity to Ben Richards. A total blast. See it in theatres. That's good. And those saying, well, you can't change the source material, sometimes you can. Like, that's what an adaptation is. You know, Stephen King isn't the be-all and end-all. His material sometimes can be a bit lackluster. And adjusting bits which wouldn't necessarily translate to live action is fine. So, I mean, well, there you go. I love the sound of this. And I'm excited for this. So, yeah, I'll be keen to watch this as soon as possible. There's quite a lot of movies coming out recently, so I will get round to this as and when I can and give you my review. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Bye now.